new Cardians in 2020, specifically the Super All-In. They actually have a few new cards, but this is the card that I think everyone will be like, what the heck is this? So it lets you return a synchro monster you control to the extra deck, and if you do, you get to special summon 4 Flower Cardian monsters from your graveyard, and then draw a card. And if you do, show it, and if it's a Flower Cardian monster, you get to special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions. Otherwise, you destroy as many monsters you control as possible, and if you do, you halve your life points. And then once per turn end phase, if it's in the graveyard because it was sent there by a Flower Cardian monster effect this turn, you get to add 1 spell trap from your graveyard to your hand. It doesn't even have to be part of the archetype, but this is the card that obviously makes everything possible because you can bring back the synchro monsters, and obviously a really good effect over there. But nonetheless, the Light Shower also makes it so your opponent can't target Flower Cardian monster you control with card effects, and also those monsters cannot be destroyed by card effects already. So the whole goal really is to go ahead and get out, like if you have a God combo, maybe you can pull off a couple negates. I'm talking like 2, without like an impermanence or something. There's this one, time ran out here. But the goal that you could maybe open up with, if you have like a godly hand, would maybe be ideal as like Light Flare plus this. Now, you could get basically 2 boss monsters out, and I'm going to go and show you guys some more plays over here, because it's not what I would consider super high-tier deck. The deck has a lot of potential problems when you run into your opponent disrupting your plays, but I mean, they have cards like it's almost like Enchanted Fitting Room where he returned the Super Cord card, but like they basically have like excavate a bunch of cards, special summon all the Flower Cardians. Like they have a lot of really good effects over here, and the whole archetype just hasn't seen very much play. But we have Flower Cardian Light Flare out here, and this has the ability to go ahead and make it so when your opponent activates a spell or trap, you can negate the activation and then destroy that card. So you can at most get 2 of these out, and it's okay, right? It's like 2 boss monsters, because we have this card that makes it so they can be targeted or be destroyed. But Light Flare also has another effect where if it leaves the field, which you'll see it leave the field eventually over here, you get to special summon another Flower Cardian Synchro monster from your extra deck, except for itself, which is a pretty okay-ish effect. So he's going to go ahead and boost it up over here. It does negate the monster's effect, but the other card's boosting it up over there, so it kind of helps out. But the archetype, I still think, has too many inconsistencies with being able to make a good board. Plus, there's not very much room for the hand traps. Like, you want to be able to spam your board with as many cards as possible, because that's just how the archetype works. So we're going to go ahead and see another Light Flare over here. So double of the super boss monsters, if you will, over here. But the boss monster doesn't have really any immunity. You have to have the Light Shower plus the Light Flare. So you want to have Light Shower. This is like what you want over here. So then you can have your setup. So it requires you to have like 2 boss monsters. And there's a lot of other archetypes that can go ahead and like just, you know, if you play against dinosaurs, you know, probably a bad time because you're just going to get flipped face down. But I'll show you guys a few different replays, and I'll hop into the deck profile real quick. But I would nowhere consider this on the same levels as, like, let's say the new Fluffles. The new Fluffles seem a lot better. Maybe on the same levels as the Dark Lords, because Dark Lords brick pretty dang hard. But I honestly don't know the archetype that well. I briefly did try to go for it, and all it would go for, like back when they first came out, it was like Light Shower, and that was it. Like the archetype still has a lot of problems, and the reason why is that you can't do anything except for with Cardians, and that's pretty much why I think that the deck is not so great, I would say. And we'll see where it goes, though, in the future. I think that even with this new support, again, you can see double negates over here. But it's only spell and trap. It does negate and destroy the card, at least. But, again, he'd have to get rid of... Well, once he attacks over here, it has this awesome effect where... if a Flower Cardian monster you control battles an opponent's monster, that... opponent's monster has its effects negated during the battle phase only. So, again, it's like, it's too mediocre. And then we have the Moonflower Viewing over here. And that makes it so during your main phase, you can draw a card, show if it's flower, you can special summon it. And during summoning, because there's a lot of cards like that. and it can attack directly this turn. But most of their stats, well, they might not be the greatest. This guy over here unfortunately couldn't really make a play. But again, I just wanted to share it with you guys because I honestly wasn't going to be playing it. So thank you so much, Stardust, for sending it in. But yeah, we'll check out one more duel and I'll give you guys a deck profile. I haven't seen not one person play this deck since it came out. I don't know if the archetype is just a bad deck kappa or if people just don't know how to play. If you guys know how to play it, definitely send me in some replays because I have not seen this against anyone. And again, I think that the problem is that you're seeing it up against someone that literally has no hand traps. I'm not actually sure what I would negate in this, but probably the card like Super Koi Koi that lets you go ahead and execute top 3 when you can stack your deck, and then you get to special summon all those Flower Cardian monsters. But again, it's too mediocre when you look at all of their effects where it's like Flower Cardians only, and like when you go into the archetypes like deck over here, you are very limited. Like, yeah, it would be cool if you can make it some of these. If that effect didn't exist where you could only go for Flower Cardians, like if there was like a Flower Cardian continuous spell card that says you no longer need to only summon Flower Cardians, this would be one of the best decks I think in the game, because you can literally spam the board with like 20 monsters in one turn. I mean, you just special summon all of them for free. And Super All-In is insane. I mean, you bounce back any Synchro monster you control, and then you can just special summon 4 Flower Cardians from the grave. And then also draw a card. Like, you really can't ask for more in a card like that. Like, that card is just so ridiculous. And on top of that, it doesn't even make it so you like lose out on battle phase or anything like that. It almost reminds me of what was it? Soul Charge. Although Soul Charge had that super downside where nothing's going to be really happening that turn. But again, you'd be able to set up these boards where they're like unbeatable. But again, he got his play negated, so Ripperino, that guy. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile real quick for this deck. Again, I don't know Cardians very well, so if you guys want to make some suggestions, definitely let me know. But we got 3 copies of the Paulina over here. A lot of them are just like, if you control it, you special summon it, you can excavate. If it's targeted for an attack, you can negate and end the battle phase, so they have a stall card. And then we have Willow over here. They all actually have artworks of a lot of cards that are really like famous. Like you can see the Giant Churnade in this one over here, and this is like one of the I forgot what the name of that card is. It's some deer card though. And then there's another card where it has another band card on it. There's one that has Crane on it. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, Willow lets you go ahead and target a Flower card and graveyard shuffle it and then draw a card. They all have actually pretty decent effects too. And then we have 3 copies of the Maple with Deer, 3 copies of the Zebra Grass, and then 3 copies of Clover with Boar, and then 3 copies of the Peony with Butterfly. Actually, it's Crimson Butterfly. And then we have, I forgot the name of this card. Someone let me know what the name of this card is. But it is a Yu-Gi-Oh card too. So we have 3 copies of Flower Cardian Cherry Blossom with Curtain. And then this is one of the newer cards. This is Flower Cardian Cherry Blossom. Not to be confused with the Flower Cardian Cherry Blossom with Curtain. This is just without the curtain. Alright, so this is one of the newer cards. If you control level 2 or lower Flower Cardian, you special summon it, but you can only go for Cardians, but that's whatever. Once per turn, you contribute a Flower Cardian, draw a card, show it if it's Flower Cardian. You can take a Flower Cardian monster from your deck and either add to your hand or special summon it in defense. So it lets you kind of extend your combo here. And then 3 copies of Pine, 3 copies of Flower stacking over here. So let's you basically choose 3 Flower Cardians with different monsters with different names and place them on top of your deck in any order, so it lets you guarantee your results. Which basically means if I go ahead and do Flower stacking and then I go Super Core Card, that's literally special summon whatever 3 monsters I want from my deck. Super OP, right? And then also you can banish this card from your graveyard, target Flower Card monster your graveyard, and add it back to your hand. But again, the effects of the entire archetype are super OP, but the Flower Cardians themselves, they're just not that good. Then we have Koi Koi again, that's the excavate top 3 and the special summon all of them because you stack it with stacking. And then Reincarnation, go ahead and add a Flower Cardian from your graveyard in your hand, and then you can just special summon a Flower Cardian monster from your hand, ignoring summoning condition. And if it's sent to the graveyard by a Flower Cardian monster's effect, you can excavate top 5, and then you can add one of the excavated spells or traps. And then gathering over here, let's special summon 4 of them from your names with different names from your deck in attack position. They lose their effects though, and they can't be used for a tribute summon, not that you do that anyways in this deck. That's a really insane effect. And then again, super all in. That's the bounce back one special summon 4 flower Cardian monsters. And then with extra deck, we already went over these effects of the like light flare. That's like super boss monster, and then light shower is also kind of a boss monster. And then we have 3 copies of Flower Cardian Aboard Fly over here. And then 3 copies of Moonflower Viewing. And then if you can somehow have your monsters stall out, you have Topologic, Borreload, and Boral Sword, because you can spam the deck as long as they would survive. But more likely they would go away anyways. But anyways, that's Cardians. You guys can let me know your thoughts on the build down below. Like I said, I'm kind of unfamiliar with Flower Cardians, but I haven't seen not one person talk about or play them. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn that bell so you don't miss out on more Yu-Gi-Oh content. If you guys want to check out any more future replays of this, if people send them in, because I ain't going to be playing this deck, because I honestly get lost. I make Light Shower, and I'm like, okay, that's no negates pass, and then I don't know what I'm doing. But if you guys want to send it in, feel free to send in replays of that or any other Yu-Gi-Oh deck to AzneyesReplays@gmail.com, like my boy StardustYGO. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks StardustYGO for hooking me up with the gameplay as well as the deck profile. I'll leave him down below, guys. Go give him a follow, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.